Hey, it's Dylan Talks Tone. So here's what I'm gonna do tonight. It is gonna be 25 degrees or something like that tonight in South Carolina, which is a lot colder than it usually is here. So here's what we're gonna do. People always tell me to never put your guitar in the car and leave it outside overnight. So I've got this Squire Strat here. I've tuned it up. I've checked the setup, the neck relief, the tuning is fine, everything's cool. So let's grab my trusty mono bag and let's go put it in the car. It's gonna be 29 degrees outside. We're gonna leave it in there. We're gonna take it out in the morning, we're gonna tune it up, we're gonna check the setup, and we're gonna see if there was any bad things that happened to the guitar when we left it in the car overnight. Pause the video right now and put your guess in the comments below. Well, it's cold and frosty. 29 degrees right now. Let's go ahead and grab this guitar and go inside, and we're not gonna do anything. We're literally gonna pull it out of the car, we're gonna take it in, and we're gonna tune it, or we're gonna check the tuning without any acclimation or anything. We're just gonna pull it out of the case and see how close it was with the same tuner that I used last night when I tuned it. It is freezing outside. All right, let's tune this thing. Oh, the tuner's backwards, hang on. There we go, you just flip it like that, and now it goes the correct direction for how you have your tuner facing on your guitar. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's check this tuning with a cold guitar. It looks like we didn't ruin the guitar. All right, the guitar's in tune. The neck relief has not moved one bit. There's no sharp frets. There's no finish, shrinkage, or cracking. What in the world just happened? It was 27 degrees outside last night and warmed up to 29 by the time I did the test. We brought the guitar straight in, pulled it out of the case, didn't wait for it to acclimate or any of that junk. We pulled it out of the case, we tuned it up, and we're playing it with no issues whatsoever. What in the world? It's because temperature in and of itself, cold temperature, the guitar being cold, doesn't really do anything to the guitar. The humidity rising and falling is what makes wood expand and contract the most. So when the humidity rises, the moisture goes into the wood and it expands. When the humidity falls and it dries out, like in the winter time when your heat is running in your house and the humidity is very low outside, the guitar will shrink down a little tiny bit. And sometimes if it's very extreme, you'll feel those sharp fret edges and you'll have to adjust your truss rod just a little bit. But this guitar was already set up in this season. I bought it a week and a half ago, I think, or a week ago. And so it's a wintertime setup. The humidity is consistent in here as it is outside. And so when I left it in the car overnight, nothing at all happened. Well, then why do people go so freaking out about leaving their guitars in the car? Besides theft, you don't want to leave a guitar in the car. But I mean, we've all done it by accident. You've like come in after a gig, or you've, run in the house to answer the phone or whatever, and then you wake up at 3 in the morning and you're like, oh crap, I left my guitar in the car. Hopefully it hasn't exploded into a million pieces or caught on fire or anything, or spontaneously combusted, because the internet has told me that if I leave a guitar in the car for more than 5 minutes in the cold, bad things will happen. The reason nothing has happened is because this is a urethane finish. The reason that weird idea has come up over so long is because old school nitro finishes can expand and contract differently when it gets cold and hot, not just with humidity, and the finish will actually crack. I think it looks amazing. So I wouldn't care if it happened to my guitar. You know those little spider line cracks that you see in some guitars? That they've done that actually. If it's a relic guitar, they've done it with cold, and they've done it on purpose. I think it's awesome. It probably won't happen with a modern day polyurethane finish that you see on most guitars. That being said, do you want to leave your guitar in the car on purpose? Probably not. But if you do by accident, chances are, and there's a lot of chances, but chances are, nothing at all bad is really gonna happen. I didn't even have to retune this guitar or do any other setup because I left it overnight. In the summertime, when the humidity has gone up, because we live in South Carolina, so the humidity is gonna go up, and the guitar has like expanded to its summertime setup, we're gonna do this again. I'm gonna leave this thing in the truck during the day when it's like 100 degrees, and we're gonna check this and see what happens again. Because heat can be a different effect on a guitar than cold. But since it's winter and somebody somewhere last night left their guitar in their car by accident and is flipping out right now, I wanted to do this test. Let's go ahead and look at some viewer comments. All right, remember, before we get into viewer comments, let's talk about this real quick. Don't forget, at the end of the month, we're going to be giving, so just in a few days, actually, probably Monday, I would think, the first Monday of November 2018, we're going to give away the Boss Katana Mini over on our Patreon. So if you're a $5 patron over there, you're automatically entered to win. The other thing is, I've got 3 items that you can find out about over on Patreon that we're going to give away at the end of December. Already planning on next month, which is really cool. And also don't forget, if you are a beginner guitar player who's just gotten started, I want you to leave a link, or I want you to leave a comment in this video, or the one on the Go Guitar app, or the one yesterday since we started talking about this. Leave a comment about your goals for the things that you want to learn in guitar playing in the next 3 to 6 months, and what you're looking to do to make your guitar playing better. If you're a beginner guitar player, put it in the comments below, because that Go Guitar app that we reviewed a few months ago, or a few weeks ago, I've got 5 codes for 1-year memberships to that thing. It's really cool. It's like $9.99 a month, but I've got 5 codes to give away, and we're gonna pick randomly from that list. You have to be subscribed, and I would like you to make a comment about that, what your goals are for the next 3 to 6 months learning to play guitar, and maybe we'll pick you and give you a year subscription. Pretty sweet. All right, let's check out some viewer comments. Riddick asks, please cut a Klon Centaur in half so we can see how it works. Sir, I'm not a savage. I may do some things once in a while that are a little crazy, but I'm not that savage. There's actually a lot of comments from yesterday's video from beginner guitar players, which is really, really cool. I'm glad that you are able to chime in as well and be a part of the community. That's awesome. Oh, here's a good question. Ron asks the next question. So after we cut the pickup in half and showed what was inside, the next question, does the better material truly justify the much higher cost? How much does it cost, say, DiMarzio to make double humbuckers that they're trying to sell for $150? We're gonna save this question, and I might actually make a video about this. This is a very good question, and I appreciate questions like this because it gives us ideas for videos. Thank you so much. Adrian Tyso says, it made me go look at the Kemper video now, LOL. It sounds like easy listening pop dance music without vocals from the early to mid 90s. It could have been much worse. Exactly. That is exactly what I'm saying about that video. If you don't know what we're talking about here, go watch my Kemper videos. And finally, Mr. Gad DeBelly says, this format with a few questions after a video is great. I like it much better than 40 minutes long Q&A videos like everyone else is doing. Thanks, man. I appreciate. Somebody else said, 1111 Paranorm said he seconds that. That's awesome. That's good to know, because I wanted a way to interact with you a little bit better on a more regular basis than just once a month. And I feel like this is pretty fun because we stay fresh with what's going on, and it helps you to keep up with if you missed a video or something, then you have an idea of what we've been talking about lately. It kind of keeps everybody together, and I really appreciate that. My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Talks Tone. If you have questions or comments that you want to add to this section of the video, make them. And maybe we will give you a shout out at the end of our next video. Do me a favor also, hit the subscribe. Bleh. Do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it. That way you know next time we make a cool video just like this one. Because we've been making one every couple days lately. Because you guys have been contributing a whole bunch of cool stuff. So I really appreciate that. The other thing is, make sure you check out the Patreon thing. We got some free stuff going over there. And if you're a beginner guitar player, make sure you make a comment as well about what your goals on learning guitar are. We'll talk to you next time.